What's up, losers? Today I'm back with another r/niceguys video. Because it's been a while. And sometimes I'm just in the mood for a different flavor of wacky nonsense. To mix things up, this is episode 12 in the Nice Guys series. And I'm ready to meet our contestants. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I was a blue-pilled dude who fell head over heels for this hooer. She was 4'11", petite, really cute, and all. I don't know how I can rate her, honestly, because for me, she was a 10 out of 10 for me. At first she was super nice with me, a soul of gold, like a Disney princess or something. What my fragile ass thought. She was my ideal type. We started as friends, and connected because we had the same interest. I was in love a month or so. And I told myself she was going to be mine. Obviously, my frick-tard friends supported me in pursuing her, so I watched these videos of being alpha male, and cheat, and how to get the girl. Those fricking scammers are plagues on YouTube, and those fricking slats that give advice to guys, and tell us constantly that looks don't matter, we only want nice guys. Rhetoric, the philosophy of the blue-pilled. Honestly, I don't know how else to describe it. I literally did everything for her. Bought her luxuries out of my construction job money. Was there for her when her father died. Listened to every problem, and gave her my genuine advice. And was like her prince. Because I gave her gifts. Bought or made out of hand. Let me just honk honk my freaking clown nose. Because I really was a clown. It is just so embarrassing. So anyways, that fateful day came, where I was going to confess to her. So I told her I wanted to talk to her privately. And we went to a corner in the high school ground. And confessed everything, poured everything out. Got vulnerable with her. And, no, I dry ass no, she literally changed character with me. Her sweet demeanor was gone. Just like that. And I just went cold. Wanted to burst out crying like a little beach. Not going to lie, everything I did for her out of the gutter. But I had my blue-pilled mentality. So I desperately told her if we could be friends. And yeah, that didn't work. She gave me the excuse that yes, I was really nice and all. But she wasn't ready for a relationship. Because of X or Y reason. And like a fool, I just comprehended her. I didn't move on, nor given up. Again I went to those scammers. To see what could I do to get her back. Since she said she wanted to preserve our friendship. But it was fizzling out. And then, that day came. Where she presented us to her new boyfriend. A freaking 6'5" basketball player. Giga, alpha, freaking male, with the looks of a Eurocentric model. Everybody was so happy for her. Even my frick-tard friends. I was more than distraught. I felt betrayed, used, humiliated. I can't describe it. I went down like a freaking statue. So I went into this period where I was wondering, what the frick did I do wrong? And yeah. Looked at myself, and I am a freaking ugly ass hobbit, and realized that everything that was taught to me was a freaking facade. Call this my villain origin story, or whatever the frick. I just was never the same after that day. Do I keep being my asshole hermit self, or should I just move on and find hope? Although I think the last one is not even a freaking option.
Wow, this guy is so extra haha. Like, he seriously seems to think he's some kind of tragic victim. Set upon by society, betrayed by his friends, and rejected by the woman he loves. When it's really not that deep. He just developed a crush on a pretty girl. Tried some rather questionable strategies to win her affection. And got shot down, you know, the kind of thing that happens to just about everyone at one point or another. In all honesty, it's pretty baffling to me that someone could write something like this out, post it, and expect other people to side with them. when they have done such a thorough job of making themselves look like a shallow, thin-skinned, self-obsessed, and generally unlikable person. I guess self-awareness just isn't for everyone. And when you haven't got a clue, sometimes you really haven't got a clue. Moving on from my overall impression, some of my more focused observations about the post are as follows. 1. He really did put this girl on a pedestal right from the start. Didn't he? Like a Disney princess. Seriously. I know he said he was at high school at the time. But come on man, maybe tone down the expectations here just a little bit. This isn't Disneyland. 2. It's funny to me how he viciously goes after his friends for supporting him when he tried to ask this girl out, and then being happy for her when she got a boyfriend that wasn't him. Like, these friends just sound really nice and supportive to me. I would definitely hang with them. It's not like they get to choose who she goes out with for her. Support is basically all they can offer. Yet this guy calls them frictards in return. Charming. 3. I actually agree on the point about the clown nose. By all means, honk away brother. And 4. With regard to the girl getting a new boyfriend, and the feelings of inadequacy that this inspired in our friend here. All I can say is, while it might hurt seeing someone you like get with somebody else, and this can cause you to doubt yourself in various ways, nothing good can come from dwelling on these thoughts. Her choice of partner is reflective of her own desires and preferences. And nothing more. Being selected or rejected by a woman does not determine a man's worth, unless he allows it to. And thinking this way will only lead to bitterness, and a toxic desire to control women, both of which, unfortunately, are easily identifiable in this so-called villain origin story. So on the whole, stop putting women on a pedestal, and hinging your self-worth on winning their approval. It's not fair, and it's a recipe for disaster as far as your own mental health is concerned. Oh yeah, and more generally, stop being such an unlikable creep, and treating your friends so badly. That is all.
25 male, hiding big secret from now fiancé. 24 female. Me and this girl have been dating for 2 years, and I proposed. And she said yes, but I do feel a little guilty about how our relationship started. And she has no idea. So she was with this douchey guy, 23 male, that I'm pretty sure cheated on her at the time. And I was just friends with her at the time. I finally had enough of her getting hurt. So I made a fake Tinder account of the guy, and sent screenshots to her. She immediately broke up with him, and we started talking more. A few weeks later, we started dating. I don't think I should tell her, since I don't want to risk the chance of possibly losing her over doing something that was in her best interest. But I feel like I should be upfront about every aspect of our relationship heading into marriage. Should I tell her?
If I were you, I'd keep it to yourself.
I second this.
Jesus Christ. This is straight up terrifying. Genuine Joe Goldberg sheet right here. I don't even know what to say. Like, imagine being the woman in this situation, and finding out that your whole relationship was built on deceit and manipulation. And that your fiancé, whom you love and trust more than anyone else, is actually this Machiavellian creep. It sends a shiver down your spine. Doesn't it? Actual nightmare fuel. If I were to give this guy the tiniest sliver of credit, it's good that he's at least feeling guilty about what he's done. Enough to consider telling the truth. But the idea that there is any way he can remedy the situation and keep the relationship intact is completely absurd to me. Like, the whole thing is built on a rotten foundation. There wouldn't have even been a relationship in the first place if it weren't for his scheming. In other words, there's no relationship to restore. There's just the elaborate fantasy this guy has created, in which he is a simple, loving fiancé, and not a sick little man operating from the shadows to control her life. The only course of action that can make things any better is for him to tell her the truth about everything, reveal who he truly is, and clear the other guy's name. Then get the frick out of her life lickety-split. And even that will leave her with deep and lasting trust issues. So to a large extent, the damage is already done. Sighs. Nice going, dude. Oh yeah, and what's with these weirdos in the comments telling him to keep the secret? Don't these people have any morality at all? Very disappointing, and worrying, for that matter. Anyway, onto the last post.
Am I the asshole for telling a girl she's not being thankful enough? I, 24 male, gets my bus from a place. There's only 6 buses throughout the day, from here to the city, and about 20 people regularly gets their bus here. There's a girl in her early to mid-20 also travels in the same way as me. A few months ago I tried to talk to her, but she showed no interest. So I stopped trying. She talks to this other lady in her 50s. Now, it's pretty hot in here. And one day she was wearing a sleeves top. And it suddenly started getting cold, as it was going to rain. After like 5 minutes, she started shivering. I thought about giving my sweatshirt to her, but she didn't ask, and she's not friendly enough for me to offer her. And the bus will be here in less than 10 minutes. Out of nowhere, this other guy who takes bus here occasionally approached her and told her to take his sweatshirt, as this weather is unexpected, and started giving her an explanation, and sounded totally like he's asking for a favor from her. She accepted his hoodie and said thank you when we got on the bus. They were talking often. I was pretty pissed, as this guy looked like a labor, and she would take his hoodie, but wouldn't ask me. The next day she was again not talking to anyone. When he came, she smiled at him, and didn't say anything, so I told the guy in a low voice, now does he regret helping her, as she's acting so ungrateful? He looked at me, and called me an asshole, and told me to stay away. A few others, including the lady, all called me an asshole, and started belittling me for saying this. That girl didn't say anything, but looked quite uncomfortable, and looked like she had tears in her eyes. Now, am I the asshole, or is this girl being ungrateful?
Ha, well that didn't make any damn sense. Did it? I don't even want to think about how many of my brain cells just jumped ship as I slogged through that slurry of incoherence. Sighs. The things I do for you guys. So the crux of this guy's complaint, as far as I understood it at least, is that he's upset at this woman for being ungrateful to this other guy on the bus by not inviting him into her bed. I guess. Like, what did he expect her to do? The guy gave her his hoodie because it was cold, and he was being kind. He probably wasn't trying to strike some kind of bargain, where he did something for her, and she was thus obliged to reciprocate. Genuinely kind people don't think that way. They do nice things for their own sake. Shocking, right? But it's true. Beyond that, though, who does this guy think he is? Getting upset on someone else's behalf, and causing a scene in public over it. Like, what gives him the right? It couldn't possibly be any less of his business. I honestly can't imagine inserting myself into a situation that had nothing to do with me like that. How embarrassing. As a final note, how funny is it that this guy sulks over the fact that the woman accepted the hoodie from the other guy when it was offered, but didn't ask him for his sweatshirt. I really shouldn't have to explain this. But if someone else does something nice unprompted, and you do nothing, the fact that you would have been willing to do it, if asked, does not mean that you deserve the same credit as the person who actually did it. Because life doesn't work that way. You can't just sit around all day, waiting for people to notice you and give you the chance to show what a great guy you are. You have to go out there and be a great guy, like the other guy on the bus was. Instead of feeling sorry for himself and dragging innocent bystanders into his awkward BS. This guy should try actually contributing something positive to the world in his own right. But from this post alone, what can I say? I'm not holding my breath. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed getting to know these interesting chaps and hearing my responses to them. What do you think? Was that first guy's villain origin story good enough to be made into a blockbuster movie? Does the second guy steal women's underwear and hide them in a hole in the wall? What would you give the third guy in exchange for the chance to wear his sweatshirt? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll wave my magic wand and turn you into a freaking ugly ass hobbit. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.